is your girl 10, and welcome to In the House.
It's your boy Flex got next.
It's your boy Tycoon Terry. Welcome to the house.
We got a very, very special guest for you today.
Super special.
Big.
World renowned.
International.
International Steven, everybody.
Hey, good night. What's good?
We're glad to have
Good
you.
morning, good evening. Just all kind of times all over the world.
Yeah.
I don't even know what time zone we're in right now.
Or as we say in Soca, hello.
Hello.
Yeah, man. What's good?
How you doing?
Kind of cold.
Understandably.
Adjusting to the weather.
Yeah. But I'm good. I'm blessed. It's a new year, 2018. You know, a lot of bright things ahead. So I'm excited.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to get it started. So right off the bat, I got to say, appreciate you. Like, big time for coming out and just, like, supporting us. But we've been taking bets for the longest time since we knew you were coming in. And we want to know where you come from because we was taking bets. Like, what's your background? Like, what country you from, or like your parents are from?
I'm from the Virgin Islands.
Or you gonna major hype it in?
I could actually major hype
It's
it.
not.
You know, like from Guyana, buddy.
Boy!
I played. I was born in Trinidad. Born in Trinidad and Tobago, and
Damn, they got everybody.
I was raised. I did like my teenage years in New York.
Okay.
I started high school there, then we moved to Atlanta. Finished high school in Atlanta, and moved to LA. Did LA for like 5 years. Started off Hollywood Carnival, the whole nine. Then I moved to Miami for a year, and now I currently reside in St. Lucia.
Technically, I did win that bet. I said he lives in St. Lucia.
But that's all you do.
That wasn't a bet though. We was trying to figure out where you
I'm
from. Yeah.
Yeah, I was born in Trinidad. I rep Trinity.
Next one's gotta win.
For sure, I rep Trinity, man. For sure. You know?
So how'd you get your start with DJing and everything? Like, how'd you get into that?
Pretty simple. My dad was an old school DJ back in the 80s, him and my uncle. They had a little sound system called Teacher Sound System. And, you know, seeing your dad come in with all these records, these crates, you know, your living room is practically a party. You got a turntable set up there, you know. At some point, a kid growing up watching your dad doing it, you're going to want to do it eventually.
I can definitely relate.
Exactly.
Same thing. My father was a DJ as well.
It was pretty easy growing up. I was always dibbling and dabbling, playing with it, touching it. I never really knew what I was doing. I was just, you know, my dad would show me one or two little gadgets here. I'll press play, or put the needle here, don't break my needle. Of course, you know, I've broken enough of them. But, you know, after we migrated to the States with my mom, when I became like a elder teenager, became bored when we moved to Atlanta, and, you know, she knew that music was always something that I had interest in. So she got me enrolled in Ibis International, real famous sound system from Atlanta. Like, he was one of the pioneers that started the Caribbean movement in Atlanta. Like, Carnival is 30 years old now. He was like one of the guys from inception. So it was like a real, you know, historic dude, and the rest is history, man. I started there and evolved from there.
Now you're all over the world. What are some of the places that you've been to so far?
Man. You know, I think I got 3 continents left, and after this year, hopefully,
Ladies and gentlemen,
hopefully, it should be close to
title,
covered.
not a
be
joke.
clear, DJ Steven is actually Carmen San Diego. You all over the place.
Yeah, man. Recently, my most recent trip was Africa. I did Kenya and Harare, Zimbabwe. It was probably my biggest show to date that I played for.
And you're there to play soca music.
Yeah, well, I mean, I got booked as an international DJ from the Caribbean, but through the government, they had the tourism board and everything.
Oh, okay.
But I played some dancehall and reggae, but I took the opportunity to introduce soca music and to proudly state where I'm from. I walked out on my intro with a Trinidad flag,
Right.
in front of 500,000 plus people.
How was that? Because a lot of people, like, you know, from North America or for the Caribbean, whenever they go to Africa, they say, like, the energy is, like, crazy. Like, they can kind of feel, like, a sense of belonging.
I think for me, the most amazing thing was to see how they responded to it. Like, they were real open, because I asked them, I said, I'm from a small place in the Caribbean, and where I'm from, we play some music called soca music. You guys want to hear soca music? Yeah! So when I put it on, I just gave them energy and started giving them, some interactive directions, and be surprised. I mean, the video's on YouTube. You guys can check it out.
Is
Pretty
it
dope.
like hardcore soca, or is it a soca Afrobeat hybrid that you break them in first,
the
or
songs?
you?
No, the song. I started off with Differentology, right, you know, the remix, the Shockmaster J remix. You know, it has a really good build up, and I just used the opportunity to just kind of get them involved, cause like a, you know, like a real movie intro.
Yeah, definitely.
And after that, you know, I went into, you know, I played a couple Marshall Montano songs, and you know, just Happiest Man Alive. I think I even played Full Extreme. You know what I mean? So, you know, I still kind of just went hardcore a bit.
Yeah.
But, you know, I wanted to show them the energy.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, they wouldn't really understand or know the songs or know who the artists are. Or probably wouldn't even understand what they're saying. But the energy of the music is what I really wanted to kind of display. And I think it did that.
That's dope.
Africa was dope.
Definitely gotta go out there. So for the period of time like you've been involved with the culture and the music, right? How do you think like the genre itself is like changed? Like sonically, it definitely has changed, but like in terms of impact, like what you remember coming up like in the early stages, like when you just got on, just started doing it, to where it is now. Like, do you feel like it's in a better space, or do you feel like we still got a long way to go?
I think, you know, it's like everyday life, you know, everything evolves. You know, what is evolution though, at the end of the day?
Yeah.
It depends on your definition too, you know what I mean? Like some things evolve in a certain way and we might see it as, you know, regressing instead of progressing. But, you know, to me, soca music has evolved into something that, you know, it's very infectious. It's evolved into something more than, we don't own it anymore. You know what I mean? Sad to say, you know, we're kind of losing the identity of it as well too. You know, if you listen to some of the things that's going on, in my opinion.
Right.
I'm just gonna say in my opinion. But I think it's all a part of the evolution, man. You know, people are experimenting, they're trying different sounds, you know, they're fusing it with this and that, you know, just to try to get it out there, try to get it mainstream. And they have to, and I feel like once we keep a base root, you know, we can still recognize it. So that's what I think. I mean, I think it's in a good space. I mean, I think it's probably the easiest music to sell, man. Like, to me, soca music is happy music. If I put happy music in this bottle and say, hey, you want to buy some happiness when you buy it?
It's definitely hard to sell over here.
And it's confusing when people say that soca music is too happy.
Too happy.
Like, what's wrong with this?
People say that over here. People say that in
Would you buy, okay, I got a bottle of stress here and a bottle of happiness.
Which one you want? Yeah.
Simple. So, you know,
Well, I
I
mean,
think it's in a good place.
If it's a light-skinned woman, I'd probably buy that stress. I ain't gonna
Oh, shucks.
Take a drink.
Shucks, I'll take a drink on that.
So in a scene where there's so many DJs out there, how do you feel like you separated yourself from the rest?
Well, I think it took me a while to kind of find my little niche. You know, as you know, being in the DJ game, it's a constant struggle. You know, it's very competitive, especially with the new age now with Serato. Everybody's a DJ.
Right.
You know what I mean? They don't necessarily need to have background. You can download Apple Music and download your songs from iTunes and pay for it. So it's very competitive. But I think my niche, I kind of worked on developing a very interactive, entertaining style as a DJ. I'm an artist, basically, at the end of the day. You know, and I just use the music to sing for me because I can't sing to save my life.
That makes complete sense.
You know what I mean? But, you know, I try to be I try to tell a story too. You know, I try to create a whole feeling and an experience when I play. And I take that very serious, and I think that separates me from a lot of other DJs. I've heard DJs do a lot of different things. Some, you know, do what I do as well too, but, you know, I don't think they take it as serious as I do.
Right.
So I would say that's how I separated myself.
I feel that.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah.
So, I had a question that I want to ask, and it might come off kind of silly.
Shoot.
But I want to know, why did you choose to go with red hair? Like, is it something that you want to
Y'all
like
want the
separate
truth?
from everybody
You
else?
want the truth? I got a smooth little story I could tell
I
too
always
that
want
might
to
sound
ask.
like real cool. Or you want the truth?
I want the truth.
The truth is, I was getting to the point a couple years ago, like, it's been like 4 years now, going on 5. I was getting to a point just before I died where I was going to cut my hair. And some friends of mine, you know, they was like, hey, we dare you to just dye your whole head. So I said, I bet. I'm backing down from no bet. So, I went to do it, and the color wasn't even like decided yet.
Right.
So it was either blue or red or purple. We had a bunch of colors we are gonna choose from. So I said, all right, you know what? I'll start with red, and the rest is history.
Yeah.
Started with it, huge hit. Like everybody loved it off the bat. A couple people, didn't really feel it right away. Marshall was like, "That's what you want to do? Dye your hair? All right, cool." A couple months later, Red Jet. You know what I
It
mean?
works. Yeah.
So it worked, and it became my identity, and now I can't really change it.
Yeah, because now
Listen, let me give you guys a true story. My kids, I have 3 kids. My kids the other day, we have a little group, and we in WhatsApp, and we chat. So my son jumps in the group. He's 9, and he says in the group on a voice note, he says, "Dad, when are you gonna dye your hair back? Because every couple months I gotta reapply the red."
right.
I said, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Well, when you dyed it, you told us that it's your brand. Orange is not your brand. It's red. So you need to dye your hair back." That's my kids. That's to show you that the brand is really sold to everybody. Everybody expects it to be red now. So when it fades like it's fading now,
Don't
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
My
both
kids is
tones.
going to be like, hey, Dad, put it together.
Yeah,
man.
what you doing?
Come on. You're the red dread. You're not the orange dread. So it's crazy, man. But, yeah.
Yeah, I've
That's-
always wanted
that's
to
the
know because
truth.
that's how I first recognized you. Like I've heard your name before, obviously, but I'm like when I first seen you, I'm like Red Dreads. Oh shoot, that's different. Yeah.
Very different. And I rock it with confidence because I feel like it gives me a sense of originality, you know what I mean? Especially in the Caribbean industry.
Yeah.
I got a question about so we kind of saw an article floating across this weekend in regards to Ultimate Rejects. The title is Ultimate Rejects Rejected. So in your years of being in this, how being behind the scenes, how have you seen when 1 year an artist has a monster hit and everyone's trying to book them, and then the next year the music ain't necessarily terrible, but it's not the same back from last year. So how do you see the how do you kind of just gauge it and see
It's very hard and very difficult to be consistent in any industry, in any genre. So, that's not necessarily up to... Sometimes, when people like something from you, they like it so much that they don't want to hear anything else from you.
That's all they want from
Yeah.
you.
You know what I mean? So it's a hard thing to gauge and to even say, hey, you're not consistent. You can be consistent with your same style. I believe they have the same style. They came with the same quality of music. It's just that it's not full extreme. So people they want to hear full extreme still. They're still on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's very difficult to remain. I've seen it happen with a lot of artists. What I could say, though, is that I've also seen a lot of artists remain consistent over the years. I've seen Marshall do it for years and years and years. I've seen Bungie manage to remain consistent as well. And, some younger guys that have now found their way. I wouldn't even say it's luck. I'd say it's consistency. Voice. It's consistency. He believes in a certain type of brand. And, he's going on, 4 or 5 hit songs now. And he's a youth. But, I think it's just a matter of you finding your niche, finding something that works for you, that you believe in, and, just push.
Definitely.
People believe what you give off, If you act like you're unsure about what you're doing, then people will feel like you're unsure, you're uncertain.
Why would they believe in you if you don't really
Believe
believe
in
in yourself?
Absolutely.
Now, do you feel like parties now, as a whole, maybe it's not just the Ultimate Rejects, do you feel like parties as a whole now are more DJ based and they're booking less artists to perform because they might feel like, hey, we have somebody like Steven that can perform while he DJs.
Boy, you put me in a spot there.
We have some like Barry Hype or Puffy or
Puffy, yeah. Who put on the whole entire show instead of
I'll take a drink for that one because I'm on both sides. I own quite a few festivals. I'm a partner of a few major festivals. And so from the promoter's perspective, which one you want me to answer first? From the DJ perspective or promoter's perspective? Because it's different.
Promoter.
Right? From a promoter side, for me, I still believe in the value of an artist.
right.
So for my events, you would see that I'm still, booking a lot of these artists. and trying to make sure I have them featured because I believe that's part of it. You know, it's part of what we are, what we celebrate. You know what I mean? Having an artist there live in color to sing their song is nothing like seeing somebody else trying to imitate it. It's different. You know, it's not original. So I still believe we need that. However, still on the promoter side now, a lot of these artists, they don't know how to translate who they are and what their value is into numbers. They feel like, okay, I have 5 hits, I'm worth 10 grand. However, for a promoter, if you're not bringing me 10 grand or 20 grand worth of people, I'm not paying you 10 grand. You understand? And a lot of artists don't know how to gauge. Then there's some artists that they don't want to do the groundwork. You know, we live in a time that's it's very competitive for everybody. People want to have that one-on-one relationship with a lot of these artists. They want to be able to have that opportunity to take a picture or be up close and personal. A lot of these artists don't do that. They try to take the superstar road, and they don't understand that it affects them. Yeah. So if people don't want to come see you as an artist, they don't want to come see you perform, they're not coming out for you, you're not really validating the fact that you're worth 10 grand. That's from a promoter's perspective. Yeah. From a DJ's perspective now, I feel like it's very important for DJs to continue to do what they're doing and continue to evolve because it all works in one circle. Right. I'm actually working on tracks now. You know, I'm not singing, but I'm executive producing.
You international calendar?
I'm calendaring it. Dog, I'm calendaring it right now. No, real talk. I have about 12, 13 tracks put down already.
Nice.
You know, I'm getting ready to start releasing from next week from, you know, all different parts of the world. You know what I mean? And I'm pushing a brand called Global Soca. You know, Soca for me, my definition of Soca is very different. My definition of Soca is called Soul of Cultural Art. So anything that's cultural art could work for me. Yeah. And global means global. You know what I mean? So I want to fuse everything and get into every market.
Steven, there's a lot of talk this year that 2018 Soca is quote unquote trash or not like last year. What's your take on it?
Man, I couldn't disagree more. I think it's some fire songs this year, bro. However, it depends on where you're listening. True. You know, if you listen to Trinidad radio, you're only going to hear a rotation of about 10, 20 songs, if so much. Yeah. You know what I mean? But, I mean, there's some songs that... Man, have you guys been listening to Bag of Music from GBM? You ever listen to their releases?
Yeah. GBM,
I'm talking about some authentic bangers, bro.
Speaking of GBM, stay tuned, folks.
We got a story.
We got a story for you.
Got a story.
Neutron.
They've been telling me about the story.
In shadow.
Yeah.
I grew up
Life 101.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
When it comes to GBM as a collective right now, as a collective, like, you know, every outfit is doing their thing, but I really love like the experimentation with their sound. Like,
but the experimentation, the one thing that I respect with it is that they keep that bass.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They keep that bass line of this is what Soca is originally. We're just gonna add a little spice, some sugar, you know, a little bit of lime. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's what they're doing.
It works.
I rate that.
It works.
Yeah, I respect that, man.
Carnival to Remember.
Big up GBM.
Big up GBM. Carnival to Remember last year by GBM Milko was by far my favorite song, hands down. Because like
sound
just
like a personal thing.
Nah. That's just my favorite. That's just my favorite song from last year because even though like the beat wasn't necessarily like traditionally soca, but the composition with the lyrics, like I felt like, you know, just drop she don't get tongue. Like that's real. You know, like that's real talk being in Trinidad hand now, right?
Sound like some personal. But nah, I think the music this year, man, is amazing. There's some phenomenal songs, man. You hear, and this year more than last year, I think we have more content in our music, more proper content. You listen to what Voice is singing, bro.
Definitely feel that.
You know, tell them wicked people, fire go, but this is the year for love. Yeah. Listen to your Earth and Alves, Overdue, quality music, bro. You know what I mean? Take it slow, Marshall. You know what I mean? Like, you know, people bringing back that authentic vibe. Look at Bungie. Bungie went back to the roots. Bacchanal and water. You understand? So, yo, the music this year is really, really dope. I mean, Lyrical and Patrice, Criminal Wine. You know what I mean? Like this, if you listen, whatever kind of soca or style of soca you like, there's some great songs this year in that little area for you.
I saw, we was having that discussion internally. We was like saying that, yo, it's kind of too early. Like this year the season is short, right? Yeah. But like it's still too early. Like you got to give the music a chance to just write it. It's too early to write it off.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they just need to listen more or go search the songs and play them because a lot of these songs I instantly liked and instantly appreciated, you know.
Vintage Garland right off the bat.
Yo, listen, man, there's so much good
Splinters
music.
and-
Let me tell you guys
Splinters
something.
Low.
Bungie sent me something yesterday that he's releasing this coming week. All I could do is real talk.
Groovy power.
Power.
Oh,
Dude.
yes.
Listen,
Let's
man.
get it. Let's get it.
Listen.
You heard it here first.
And of course,
people.
you know, you can't count out the monk because at the end of the day, he is the monk for a reason.
Yeah.
You know, his legacy is untouched. You know what I mean? Like, you know, a lot of people might say what they say. Hey, with Marshall thing, I've been hearing a lot of rumors looking around, you know, and just hearing people talking. But at the end of the day, this is the only person who can come the day before Carnival and release a song to
Always.
probably win a road match.
But that's a given. How many, like, for years now, certain people been trying to tell us, like, Marshall is done. He's washed up. Like, he got to retire.
I mean, you know, he's the one to beat. He's the GOAT.
Yeah.
So he's the one to go after. So everybody will continuously, you know, try to go after who's on top. It's hard trying to stay number one, you know.
Especially for
I like to be number two, personally. You know, because I could see all the mistakes that number one make.
and learn from
Learn
it.
from
Yeah.
that.
And
Interesting
then
theory.
everybody will fight number one. You know,
Yeah.
just duck the blows and just,
I don't know
man.
about that, Steven.
You know, I just like to be number two. So, guys, you could keep number one. I'd even take 3 or 4. I'm cool.
I don't know about all that.
I'm cool with it. You know, but great music this year.
Great
to
music.
say, you know, I think the music is amazing, phenomenal. Shout out to every single soca artist that contributed something to the 2018 soca music thus far. I got some contributions coming too. Yeah,
I'm looking for that.
I think what the outrage is though is that the people making the comments that are like discrediting the genre in its entirety are people that like promoters. They're throwing these parties, so it confuses a lot of people as well. If you think the music is trash, why you here? Like why are you not being an ambassador for the music, or why are you voicing your opinion in such a way where you could say, okay, the music has to grow on me, but to outright come and say like, yo, this is trash, like.
I don't know, man. I don't know where you guys hearing that. I haven't heard it. You know, but right now I'm trying to figure out how Trinidad Carnival is gonna pull off with, you know, having to get a wine pass or permission to wine.
Let's get into that.
Yeah, it's funny you brought up criminal wine.
That
I'll just
criminal
take a
wine.
sip.
Criminal
That
wine.
criminal wine.
I'll take a sip on that one.
I mean, I have my permission slips printed
'Cause-
and ready. My signature's already on
Just
it.
so that you guys know, in case anybody hasn't seen, there's been a lot of talk and articles and going around about like you needed, I guess, permission
Consent.
consent to wine on somebody now.
Yeah.
And like,
what really happened? The one of the police commissioners in Trinidad and Tobago went on the news to address the nation and basically said that it's deemed a crime if you were to, you know, go dance on someone. It's on
But
YouTube and stuff
is
all
it,
over the place.
but is it written into law? Because it's one thing for you to say that.
No, well, I mean, at the end of the day, though, if you physically touching someone that
Yeah.
you know
Doesn't wanna be
want to
touched,
be
yeah.
touched,
Yeah.
technically that's a crime.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing, really, you know. But because of our culture, you know,
Yeah.
no one looks at it like that. But at
Yeah.
the end of the day, you know, when you have people like Lyrical Tifa now wine on Patrice every night on stage,
So, fellas, be clear. If they catch you in the video, just tell your wifey that you didn't give consent for this girl to whine on you, and everything will be okay.
You are the victim.
You are the victim. Don't victim blame, right? Or victim shame.
these days.
eh, boy.
So what are some of the things you got coming up for Trinidad Carnival?
Trinidad Carnival, I have an event. It's called Binge. I used to do a boat ride. You know, no longer doing that, so I'm focusing on Binge. It's Carnival Sunday. It's going to be every Carnival Sunday if, you know, I'm able to continue doing it. This year I'm doing it at Anchorage Beach Club on West Side Trinidad. Binge is a concept that I came up with just to kind of give people that overdrive, you know, in effect. You know, sometimes people feel like, you know, parties are done too soon, and a lot of the reason for that is the music. You know, I feel like with Binge, we want to give you an overdose. There's going to be limited repeated songs. You know what I mean? In terms of soca music that's going to be played, it's going to be soca from all over. You know, I have French DJs. You know, I have artists from all over the Caribbean that's coming to perform. So just a diverse setting And of course, the word binge means to overdo. So we're about to overdo it.
As proud participants in Binge 1 last year.
Yeah, we were at Binge last year.
I was on the stage. So it started rocking too much and I was over the water. So I was like,
there's no water stage. There's no water stage this year. No water stage this year.
I can't swim.
No, I really enjoyed that though. The water stage.
How
the water, the tide was just rolling into and everybody was in the water.
Dope setting.
And the vibes was unlimited because people kept trying to like run on the stage with the ramp, and I was like,
watch Willie Chin with his camera right there. We almost knocked down the cameraman.
Dr.
Big
J,
up Willie Chin.
Yeah, big up Willie Chin.
Yeah, Smile is one of my favorite mixtapes.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So so that's what I'm working on for Trinidad Carnival. Besides that, I'm just gonna be doing work with my artists, with Liro, Teddy, I support Skinny and Voice a lot as well too. Ricky T's. I have a lot of guys that I work closely with, Ricardo Drew. So you can catch me around these guys all the time.
Yeah, we'll be there.
I'm always a supporting brother for them. I'm always foundation for them, in every aspect. So,
real quick. Yeah. I think Lyrical is super underrated. Like I feel like he don't really get his respect.
Well, we're gonna take a break.
I feel like
take a break because
respect,
when I start talking about that one, it's gonna take some time. All right, we'll be right back.
Yes.
So we back.
We back. Let's get into this lyrical thing.
Lyrical.
Lyrical, I don't feel gets his just due in the industry, in the culture. He's been super consistent, and it's just like he kind of just gets overlooked.
That's interesting to see from I guess from your perspective looking in at it. It's been a very, very difficult road for Lyrical. Mm-hmm. I could tell you, that's my best friend. It's my right hand. I'm his right hand. So what he goes through, I go through a lot of it too. From being accepted in Trinidad as an outside artist, being born in Trinidad, from Belmont, raised in Trinidad.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know that.
From Belmont, and being considered when he first tapped into the industry, being considered as a foreign artist,
American,
was a fight. That's one. So that was one barrier to break down. Two, just the stigmas. Oh, the style, he sound like Bungie, trying to look and act like Bungie. All of that little fight, he had to get through all of that. And then finally, when he did break those barriers down, you have the natural local hate of crab in a barrel. Right. I feel like after Cloud9 and Lona, there was a lot of heavy energy. I've seen it myself. Heavy energy towards Lyrical in Trinidad. Not calling no names, no DJs, no radio DJs or nothing, but I just saw that like they weren't happy to give him the push. He had to earn it. I remember the year with Freedom, we had to like literally stuff the song down people's throat. Like we started our sets with it, finishing our sets with it. By the time we was done with Freedom, it came back to the States as a hit. Now, one of the great things about Lyrical, he doesn't have to depend on having a great season in Trinidad to tour more than everybody else that's coming from Trinidad.
Right.
He's one of the most toured soca artists. Yeah. And that's because we developed our fan base. We built it by going city to city. I always say this story to people when I'm talking. I remember times when, Lyrical and I split $600 on a gig. And that was just a couple years ago. You know what I'm saying? Not like two, but it was a few years ago. Yeah. And to see where we're at now, it's unbelievable. But he's one of the hardest working artists in the industry, I could tell you. He sacrifices a lot. He puts in a lot of work, and he gives back a lot. A lot of artists like to seem and appear like they're giving back, and they really don't. Lyrical gives back a lot. He does kids drives, back to school drives where he buys toys for the kids. Every year he does the cancer walk in New York. He does a lot, and he's, to me, the definition of a well-rounded artist. And a lot of people don't pay attention to it. You're right. So I would say yes, he's underrated. Talent-wise, oh yeah, way underrated. You know what I mean?
He's an incredible freestyler.
Yeah, incredible. And I don't think he has gotten that light to really, or that stage yet to really shine with it. But everything is time. I mean, we take every obstacle that comes in our way as as a challenge, and we're always ready for it. We always stay prepared. We always try to keep evolving with the times. And okay, this is trending. We're trendy people, so we try to stay up with the trends and keep it moving. But hats off to Lyrical, man. Yeah.
Big ol' Lyrical. That's
Big ol' Lyrical. Shout out to Lyrical, man.
Yeah, man.
So the DJ Steven birthday tour, what other stops are you making?
All right, so tomorrow or today was actually supposed to be, because today we're going to be seeing the video. Tomorrow,
Yeah.
today. Supposed to actually be New York. We had 40/40 Club, Jay-Z's club booked, and in New York, been having some horrible weather, and it kind of hindered the promotion. And the team and I, we decided we didn't want to go into 40/40 with a halfway promoted event, because we didn't get a chance to go out and really promote because of the weather.
Right.
And so we postponed the New York show. So in doing that, I put out a couple posts on Instagram saying, hey, I'm going to do a couple pop-up parties. And the votes, man, they were going to Grenada.
Shout out to Jab Jab Nation one time. One time.
Just recognize them jab on them, Them jab on them, they're proud, Yeah, so we go in Grenada. That show is almost sold out as far as I know already. The feedback is crazy.
What's the
Every single person.
Sorry to cut you off. What's the venue down there?
Junction.
Junction.
So that's going to be lit. You know what I mean? It's going to be crazy. Then we're going to Paris next week. We're doing London after that. We have Dubai set. However, Dubai, we've been having a couple complications with Dubai too. So Dubai might get switched up into about 3 different pop-ups in some other cities that's really hungry for it. The whole goal of the birthday tour for me is just to create a vibe in January. For the people that don't go to Trinidad so early for Carnival, January is always a dead month. It's always been for me as a DJ. It's right after the holidays. People don't really have money to spend to go out. So I try to create, a kind of energy in January for people to look forward to, as well as give myself something to do in January.
Makes sense.
You know what I mean? So, a lot of my events are not really no big money to pay to come in, but, I try to bring a different vibe, try to create brands that, you will enjoy, and, hop it around, take it all over the place, all over the world. Like, there's crazy cities requesting the birthday tour now because I created a brand of it. So that's the vibes.
All right,
That's
flex.
pretty genius.
So, yeah, we got to hit the road and get our H1M out there.
Yeah, the H1 tour coming soon.
Hey,
Speak it into
Link up.
existence. That's it.
Yeah, well, speaking of that, I did an interview back in September on a radio show for Island Breeze, right? That's what DJ Rams, DJ Flip. And they asked me, is there any DJ that I wanted to work with? And I did mention your name. I was like, okay, I've seen him a couple times. We've been on the same bill. We've crossed paths, but like we've never like interacted and spoke and like got to work with each other. And a couple of days later, I reached out to you about Binge for this year. And at the same time, Farm messaged me.
Yeah,
It was like within the same hour.
Yeah.
He hit me back about.
So it's meant to be.
It was meant to be.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to be a part of Binge this year. Also, we launch tonight. Well, if you've seen this video, it's gonna be tomorrow. So last night, and if you're not there, I can already tell you missed out on a wicked party.
Yeah, man, for sure. I'm excited about it.
Definitely can't miss this tonight, or else all your prayers go into God's spam folder. I just want y'all to know. Early.
Spam folder.
Right to the spam folder.
Oh, man.
But I guess we can ask you the same question. Is there any DJ that you haven't worked with or an artist that you haven't worked with that you want to work with?
I don't think I necessarily have anybody on my list that I really say I'll look forward to working with like that, or I really, really want to work with. How I approach things is, I believe God sends opportunities for everyone. I'm always willing and always open. I'm very easy to get along with. I'm always open to working on different things, so I don't believe in any set way of doing things. So if I see an opportunity or, with someone that, it doesn't matter who, it could be the smallest artist, I'm down to work with them.
Right.
Because those are the ones that bring something different to the table. You never know, Life is funny. The biggest stars come from nothing sometimes. And, who am I to judge anybody? I came from nothing. Not that I'm something now.
No, you pretty much something.
Speaking of Binge, I just want you to know early that we got a lawsuit coming, and you might be implicated in it because.
So are we just gonna tell the story?
Yeah, we tell.
No, well, I
I
plan on protecting some of my fellow gentlemen that's going to be attending.
We'll tell the story. So, we had binge, right? We was waiting for the whole week. Everything we got down there. So we were staying in Carnage, right?
Yeah.
Carnage.
Oh, in my zones, man.
Yeah, so we was just go down. So we go, everything's fine, binge is lit, binge is done. So my man here
First of all, we knew we weren't missing this party, so we hitched a ride to the party.
Cause no taxi ain't going on that side.
Right? So we hitched a ride to the party. We're like, all right, we could probably catch one going back, right? So party finish. Dr. J and E-Man, they bounced out. They're like, yo, be safe. We're like, cool, we'll see you guys. We'll see you guys when we see you guys. Everybody leaving. Mr. Neutron. Like, yo, Neutron, we could catch a ride back with you? He's like, yeah, man. And he kept walking. All of a sudden he disappeared and we don't know where Neutron and Milko, we don't know where they're gone.
Neutron and Milko disappeared. So now we stranded outside Shaka Cabana.
Wow.
And we don't know how we get home.
So we can't stay here. So we start walking.
And to pause, like y'all told me it was like last night, the other night that they walked. When I say walked for our viewers, I live in Toronto. How from what?
So we're at Shepherd and Markham right now. We probably walked down to about Victoria Park, which is
Do you understand?
about 7-8 kilometers.
Is it that far?
Yeah,
because when we got the ride, it was like just by the corner
After O2 Park.
No, to get to O2 Park, and then we got the ride from. And that whole entire time, I was terrified because this guy could have kidnapped us and killed us, but he might have been like a army person, like a
police officer or something.
off-duty cop. So he's just like, hey.
Well, you guys are here to tell the story.
A
So,
lot of
hey,
citizens do.
all of that.
So he might be like,
That's wild.
Yeah.
We're not suing you, but
but
nah, big up Neutron.
Big up Neutron.
That's the big bro.
Yeah.
I have
No
another
cheat.
story for him. So
Yeah, man, for sure.
You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna take him out somewhere and then leave him.
You almost said a rebel.
Be a part of this
They can walk
conversation, guys.
You can walk down the lake
I'm
shore.
not here. Just kind of edit me out of this conversation. I'm not part of this planning. You know what I mean?
Shout out to Neutron, then, man.
Yeah, man.
go and
But guys, I want to say, definitely big up for, the initiative and putting this show together and doing
Appreciate
this.
it. Thank you.
I think that we need more of this in the community, in the Caribbean communities all over the world. Because like I always tell people, knowledge and documentation is very, very important. And, if no one tells their stories, then we don't really know where we come from. Or,
Yeah,
what happened. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Or where we could go or where we could build from. So enough respect to you guys for putting this together. And thank you for having me.
definitely appreciate you coming through.
Definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
What we're really trying to accomplish here is, like, we see in pop culture, they have their breakfast club, they have their everyday struggle that talks about their own music, where people can see it, people can interact and feel it, and that's what we want to bring to the table for soca music.
Well, the first thing, Breakfast Club, they drink their tea. I realize none of you guys been drinking your rum. So,
Hold on.
just saying.
Whoa,
You know.
whoa! Make up the Pop's Punch.
Yeah.
Pop punch.
All right? I just saying. They
Masqueraders.
drink their tea and their coffees. Well, you guys here.
Mine's almost
Remember, I have the only see-through glass, so I can't
know,
act
right?
like I'm not drinking. You guys set me up. You know what I mean? But it's all good, man. So
Yes, it's time for We Launch, so we do have to wrap
You gotta
up
roll
and-
out?
We gotta
and
launch.
roll.
I could plug a
So-
couple things before we go.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Couple things I want to plug. How much time I got? So I know how to plug it because it's a lot.
Big up our man Kevin behind the scenes.
Yeah? 5 minutes? All right, cool. So first of all, this is your boy International Steven here. Make sure you follow me on all social media platforms at International Steven with a P-H-E-N. They spell Stephen Curry like Steven, but it's really Steven. They call him Stephen, but I'm Steven. So International Steven or Stephen, as long as you're referring to me. That's cool. Also, look out for all my festivals. Atlanta Carnival Experience in May. That's Ace Weekend. Follow it on Ace on all social media at Ace Weekend, aceweekend.com. South Carolina Carnival, southcarolinacarnival.com. Make sure you check that out. It's in June. Hollywood Carnival, check that out. Ibiza Soca Festival, Ibiza, but we say Ibiza. Make sure you check that out, ibizasoca.com. Support that as well. That's in Spain. Tobacco Weekend, September. Make sure you check that out. September 13th to 16th. Yeah, man, just support the vibes. You know what I mean? Look out for Binge everywhere. Binge St. Lucia, Binge Trinidad, Binge Grenada. We're doing Binge in St. Martin this year.
Nice.
So look out for Binge, the Binge tour. Yeah, man, and look out for music from International Steven coming. You know what I mean? We got some EPs dropping. Keep your ears to the ground. That's it. Peace.
Stephen Khaled, Stephen Curry.
International Steven.
In the house, and we out.
And we out.
We out.
Cause inside this spread